Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to see what the hot tip of the day is. What's the tip of the day, everyone? Woohoo! Hot tip of the day. What is it? Today is Thursday. Almost the end of the week. Yay! Thursday. What is the hot tip of the day? Almost the weekend. Yay! Okay, here we go. Hot tip of the day. Okay, so this is interesting. The way to physical twin flame union is to focus on yourself because your other you counterpart is expressing fear, and that is reflecting back to you. Your fear of not being by yourself or fear of letting go and living in the fifth dimension. Oh, I love that. Okay, so let me explain. So if you have a twin flame who is reflecting back fear, fear of commitment, fear of being in a relationship, who knows what they express. I know my twin flame expressed a lot of fear. I can't remember exactly what at this moment. But anyway, just a lot of it's just it's interesting because you're if you talk to your physical twin flame, what you'll notice is it's your shadow. Your physical twin flame is your shadow. It really is shining a light on your divine feminine. No, that's not a bad thing. A divine feminine is not bad. A divine feminine is divine feminine. It's shadow, but it's shining a light on the shadow. Otherwise, the shadow is hidden, and that hidden shadow creates a lot of chaos. And if you're not aware of it, it could really take you down. It emotionally takes you down, right? And it can get a little bit chaotic. So it's like when you're aware, and I know it sounds like I do a lot of spiritual bypassing, and I do. I do a lot of spiritual bypassing, as my daughter says, because what happens is I figure stuff out psychically, and then I know how to take my life back. Is the best way I could put it. Because when I feel out of control, when I feel like something else is taking me out of control, where it's like, no, I need to live my life. I need to take my life back. It's a little too chaotic. So what happens is when you're with your physical twin flame, they are your shadow. That is who they are. It's your shadow. It's you in another body. Now, coincidentally, they see you as the same way because you're on different timelines. So when they are with you, you're reflecting back them. So you are their shadow, and when you're with them on your timeline, they are your shadow, right? So what does that mean, Mary Beth? What does it mean that they're my shadow? Well, what that means is anything that's wounded or anything that is out of balance or anything that needs to be healed energetically, psychically, emotionally, mentally, it's all right there in a clump physically in front of you as your twin flame. It's almost like it's a walking shadow. It's almost like you have these shadows that were hidden from you, and it was controlling your subconscious mind. And in your subconscious mind, we're not really aware of what's inside our subconscious mind, but it's a mixture of your inner child programming, past lives, traumas. It's all there, and that's what's directing your life, which is why we have interesting lives. This is why our lives are so full of adventure. And what happens is when your twin flame comes along, it's actually a gift. It really is. It's actually a beautiful gift that's given to you, because it's your shadows that are coming out of the shadows and they're walking out into the light in front of you. And you're like, what is going on here? And it's just like in one big swoop, you are taken down like a deck of cards, right? and you meet your twin flame and they say things and they do things and it's horrible. It's just horrible. And then one day I just said to a very psychic friend of mine, and I said, I feel like he's just my shadow. And then and she goes, oh yeah, he is your shadow. That's exactly what he is. That's you hit that right, that you hit the nail right on the head, she said. And I said, oh, okay, well then that makes sense. He's my shadow. But you'll find that a lot of your relationships are your shadow. Sometimes your own child comes off as your shadow. I know I came up as my own mother's shadow. I feel bad about that actually. um, and actually, my mom is my shadow. Your child could be your shadow. Your friends could be your shadows. Sometimes they mirror back to you the light, right? Sometimes you're with people who mirror back to you the light. And then some people you are with people who mirror back all of your darkness, right? And you still want to be with them. You don't know why. It's like, why do I hang out with this person? And all they do is complain and blah, blah, blah. Well, again, they're just mirroring back your own shadows. And the twin flame is that on steroids. And so, why is that important? Well, it's a gift because the twin flame is here to help you heal all those aspects of yourself. I'm not quite understanding the why we have to do that yet. That hasn't been presented to me. I might have to ask that question to my soul. But I don't know if it has to do with becoming whole, because I was under the impression that the soul was fragmented. And this is the answer I just keep getting for now until I get a new answer, is that our soul is very fragmented. And once everyone's soul becomes fragmented due to, again, all the programming, the wounding, and all that type of stuff, it kind of all goes into the shadows. And now it's like you're no longer whole. It's fragmented and everything's kind of hidden. And I forget the name now, but if you watched Harry Potter, what do they call when Voldemort he hides pieces of his soul, right? It's kind of like that. That Harry Potter movie is really just a really good mirror to life, if you'd notice, and because you get a lot of help too. You see how Harry Potter gets a lot of help. There's a lot of darkness and light, and yeah, there's a certain word that they use where, yeah, parts of your soul are hidden, and then you have to find those parts of you, and you start to call yourself back, and you start to become whole again. The more you heal, and then once you heal yourself, once you heal your inner child, once you heal your past lives, it all starts to come together, and your soul becomes very much. It's almost like you have a very soul directed life. It's not easy to have a soul directed life, though. I'm finding when your soul is wounded. When your soul is wounded, your soul directs you in very unusual, not so healthy ways. And I used to think, well, my soul knows best. My soul is the know-all, and that's true. But my soul is also the shadows, and so my soul will also lead me to such into such journeys that are meant to just heal me, that are very challenging to the core, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to the twin flame, when you're in physical union with them and you see fear being expressed by your twin flame, again, fear of commitment, however you want to put that, it's really just a mirror back to you of, what are you in fear of? Are you in fear of being by yourself? Are you in fear of walking away? Are you like, what are you in fear of? So it's like your twin flame is reflecting, or they're running away, right? So it's that your twin flame runs away. Your twin flame's like, no, I don't want to be with you. I want to be with her, or I want to be with him. I don't want to be with you. That's a big theme, right, in a twin flame journey. And so then you have to ask yourself, well, what am I running away from? Am I running away from my soul? Am I running away from myself? Well, how am I running away from myself? What does that even mean? Am I running away from my own shadows? Yes. Yes, you are running away from your shadows, because that's exactly what the twin flame did, right? Ran away because you are their shadow. They just ran away from their shadow. That's why they ran away from you. You're their shadow. Shadows are scary. They're downright scary. Like I'm a downright witch to my twin flame. I am just a witch, and he's a werewolf in my book. It's just downright scary, and it's hard to put into words. It's just a lack of joy. It's very much just it's almost like a regression. It's like a imbalance. It feels like zero connection. It's almost numb. It really is. It really is just. It's a mirror to all the wounds that you've ever had mixed in one, based on whatever you've been through, based on all the traumas that you've been through. Maybe you were sexually abused as a child or in a past life. Maybe you were physically abused as a child or in a past life. Many things may have caused you to have some sort of trauma, and I just saw 1122. That gets put into the shadows instead of being healed. So when the twin flame shows up, it's all right there in a one little tight, beautiful package, right? Your sexual abuse, your physical abuse, your traumas, it's all walking. It's a walking wound that you've not ignored, but you just kind of stuck to the side thinking, I gotta get over that. Or I'm just gonna put that away and just live my life, thinking that that's a thing. I thought that was a thing, and I thought that's perfectly fine, and let's just move on. But the soul's different, right? And I think that is okay for an avatar. For the avatar, for the body, I'm guessing for the mind, the ego, I'm guessing that's fine. But the soul is a whole different story. The soul is like, that's not gonna work for me. We need to clear it. We need to heal it. We need to face it. And the way I do it is the same way I do inner child work, which is go back and give that piece of me what it needs. The piece of me that got fragmented, the piece of me that went astray and went straight into my twin flame, my fragmented self that went over there, I had to take back. And so I almost wonder if that part of my twin flame even exists anymore because I took it all back. It's like, well, that's mine. That doesn't belong to you. That's my stuff. And so just building myself back up, but giving that part of me what it needed, what it needs. And it's very interesting because I've done a lot. Like I think I lose my voice talking to pieces and parts of me that are so fragmented. And a lot of them are my past lives. They'll come in, and I could feel my past lives come in, and it's quite painful when I feel them come in. Not painful, I shouldn't say. It's more if you ever feel depleted, where all your energy is zapped, that you could be going through the same thing, where an entity comes in, and if you tell that entity to get out, you'll sometimes feel it leave. And so I will feel very depleted, and when I create my own session where I'm like, okay, now I will help you, but not like while I'm working. So it's like I have to set those boundaries, and parts of me are coming back that were in the shadows, and now we're becoming whole again. So I call it integration, right? So we're in that integration timeline. For me, it's a lot though. It's too many pieces. It's like 10,000 of them. It feels like, but it's happening, and it's working, and we're becoming more and more whole. And the more whole we get, the better my soul gets. Where my soul's not taking me down emotionally, I guess is the best way to put it. The soul's happy, I'm happy. The soul's not happy, I'm not happy. No matter how happy as the avatar, I walk around like, oh, I'm so blessed. But if my soul's sad, doesn't matter. There's no getting around my soul sadness. It's just, I'm like, oh. So anyway, so I hope that helps. So the hot tip of the day is just understanding that your counterpart, your twin flame is you, but it's your shadow. It's your shadow you that's coming out of the shadows, coming out to make you aware that there's something that needs to be healed. Not something, but lots of things. And really, it's your soul fragmented, and your soul just wants to be whole again. And your soul is calling calling all selves back to yourself, calling yourself back to yourself, which I know sounds odd. But as you call yourselves back, to heal, you become whole, and the more whole you become, the more life becomes balanced. Is the best way I could put it. Balanced, where you actually enjoy life, you enjoy, everything starts to come together. You're not running around in stress. You're not sick. You're not physically ill. You're not worried about things that the public's worried about. You feel pretty safe all the time. You feel. I'm not going to say you don't feel challenges, because I do. Usually, it's when an entity drops in, though, that it starts to take me out, or I start to perseverate. I do understand that it's a past life of me that just jumped in. Sometimes I don't notice, and I think it's me. But then when I really start thinking about what I'm perseverating about, I'm like, but I don't understand why we're thinking about this. I don't necessarily care. I start to like separate myself from it, and then I realize it's probably an entity that jumped in that I really just need to integrate. Anyway, and I know that's a lot. And I know I teach extremely high vibrational stuff on this channel, which is why I don't expect everyone to understand, because not everyone has been through the steps. If you're like me, you'll hear the steps before you go through it, and you'll intellectually know it. But until you start going through it, then you'll start to embody it. Once you start embodying it, then it all makes sense. But it's hard to listen to it and then be like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds something I should start doing. But yeah, like I said, all this stuff that I heard about this stuff before it happened to me, and I intellectually knew about it, but I never embodied it. And it's very different when you embody it. Now it's a knowing, because you experienced it versus hearing about it. But I share it in case you are going through it, and maybe you're at the beginning stages and you just don't know what it is, and maybe it's helpful to you. But please, I'm just a perspective, and just take what resonates and leave the rest. Because if it doesn't resonate with you, don't take it as yours. And I can only explain what I've been through. I can't explain anyone else's experiences, only my own. That's why I'm just a perspective in this collective, and I like to share it with everyone. If this is something that might be helpful to you, because I would have I would have liked it if someone explained this type of stuff to me. It was hard for me to figure out. So I do hope this helped or helps. It doesn't have to be the whole thing, or just one little piece of it. If one little piece of it you can take and it helps you, then that's wonderful. And I'm really glad, and I'm very thankful for all of you for sharing. I'm sorry for coming and letting me share with you, as well as thank you for subscribing, and thank you for viewing. And I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day, everyone. Thanks. Bye now.